Hey Scorpio, this reading's for you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on in here, and we'll see what the universe has in store for you, what messages they got, what affirmations. So what do you got for us, universe? What do you got for Scorpio? What do you got to tell Scorpio today? Woo! And they're flying out, so I think that's time to get going. She's ready to speak. So we have new beginnings, we have solitude, we have victory and success, we have intuition, and we have discontent and boredom. Well, obviously we do have a transition period here in your life. I wonder if it hasn't taken you some soul searching to find that out, to find out exactly what you want, and the best way to go about actioning a plan to make it happen. And I almost wonder if that's what the solitude doesn't speak of, the time that you spent reflecting on what it was, and then really trusting your intuition and following your heart. And I got the solar plexus chakra, which speaks to power and self-esteem. I have the waiting game, spiritual strength, disruption, and temptation. So I almost wonder if disruption doesn't speak to you changing this pattern, this path that you were on in your life, shaking things up. Because you were in a place where it wasn't what you wanted it to be. It was just time to change. I wonder if the temptation isn't the temptation to fall back into old habits. Maybe a bit of a warning there. Because that would definitely disrupt your progress in this new way of being. I'm gonna keep pulling cards here because I want to find out what this change is that you've made here. Like, just from the cards that I have so far, it almost feels more personal growth, which sometimes comes just from changing the way that you live. So even changing jobs, even moving, you just weren't happy with where your life was at. Universe, if you can give me some clarification in these tarot cards, so we can just paint an accurate picture here for Scorpio, and tell them what they need to hear. Tell them the message that you're trying to deliver here. I want to make sure I get an accurate read for them. And it's starting to feel like everything's trying to jump out of my hands here. So I think she's about ready to go. Yeah, so we'll get started here. Let's see. So Two of Wands speaks of choosing a path. It's definitely feel like you definitely had to choose a new path in your life. I got the Lover's card. So I feel like there's a relationship somewhere in here. I almost wonder if it wasn't a relationship that wasn't working for you either, that you had to choose to step away from. I also got the Two of Pentacles, which speaks of, well, you can see he's juggling there. So to me that speaks of finding a balance. So I almost feel like that speaks to where you were at, and sort of feeling like things were out of whack. You weren't getting enough of what you needed to be happy, and maybe that means in the relationship, maybe that means in other aspects of your life, or maybe it's both. Maybe it was in a lot of different places and you were just tired of it all and needed a change, needed a fresh start. I do have the Six of Cups, and it usually tends to be a blast from the past. To me, when I see it, I see the words fresh start. That's kind of where I got that from. I also have the Eight of Cups, which speaks of starting a new journey in your life and sort of leaving the old one behind. I'm almost getting an impression here of, I'm going to pull a few more cards and just see where it, okay. I almost feel like you've moved as well. Maybe moved back home or to your hometown. Like really, really fresh start. Like completely changing things around, fresh start. I have the Empress card here, and to me when I look at her, I see the word mother. Like very, very nurturing energy. And that's another reason why I'm feeling like maybe you moved back home. And not necessarily into like your mom's house, but I think you moved closer to family. I feel like so you could have a positive sort of support system for yourself and get back to sort of familiar ground. Somewhere where you felt happy, where you felt safe. I have the Ace of Swords, which it speaks to triumph. And I have the Queen of Swords here, and to me she speaks of, I feel like she's speaking of conquering some personal truths, and I think that came along with the Solitude card, which for me represents reflection, because I think that was part of your process of reflecting on your situation, on your life, and maybe remembering where you were most happy, which might have been home, and trying to figure out exactly what direction you wanted your life to go, and taking the steps to sort of go back to that. But I think the Queen of Swords here speaks of you figuring out for yourself what that is. I got the Chariot, which to me, she is encouraging that positive forward movement, the positive change in your life, persevering. I have the Magician here, which speaks of having all the tools that you need to be successful. But what I get from him, I just get this impression that this move, this transition that you're going through, this is what's going to give you all the tools that you need to be successful. I think this is building you up as a person, building up your ability to be successful in life and to have the life that you want. So I have the Six of Swords, which it speaks of a transition from a stormier time into a smoother time, and I think that speaks of your transition here as well. I think you're gonna feel like, I think once you make this move, once you settle in from it, I think you're gonna feel a sense of peace and calm pretty quick, just with the location change, I think, and the nostalgia of it. I think it's gonna sort of take you back to a time when you were happier and you felt safer. So I think just that part in general is going to help to bring you some peace. I have the Two of Swords here, which speaks of difficulty making decisions, of seeing a choice clearly. And so I feel like you still do have some choices to make. Like, that's not going to be the be-all, end-all. I still feel like there are still things that you're working out and working through. And I think that also speaks to the Magician and you gaining those tools that you need to be successful on this journey. I have the Nine of Pentacles, and she speaks of abundance, and you can see how happy she is. And so I think that speaks to your future. It also speaks to the immediate effects of this move, because like I said, I think once you get there, it's going to be like a huge weight lifted off your shoulders. You're just going to feel like like you can breathe again. I don't know that this relationship, and I'm trying to get from the cards whether they're telling me that this thing is over, because I feel like it's ended. I have the King of Swords and the Five of Swords, which makes me feel like either this person is going to come back, or it's just the residual, the residual sort of baggage from this. That's what I feel like it's going to be, actually, now that I've said it out loud. That's what feels right. You're still going to be sorting through the emotional baggage that you gained from this relationship that you were in. And it's going to take you a while to sort through it all. So I got the Seven of Swords here. And this card tends to speak of a situation where you feel like something was taken from you unfairly. You were treated in an unfair way. The other party didn't feel any guilt. And I feel like that might be some of the negative emotions that you're going to be wrestling with, that might hold you back from completely moving on in this journey. Because, like I said, moving locations doesn't change the entire situation. It might put you in a place where you feel safer, you feel happier, but you still have that emotional baggage left over that you are going to have to deal with. And I think this speaks to the process of it as well. I have the Death card here, which speaks of a transition. So for me, the Death card is a way of encouraging you to unpack this baggage, to sort it out, but then to leave it in the past, and not revisit it again. Just close the door and move on to a new beginning, is what the Ace of Cups stands for. So I have patience, I have foundation and achievements, I have harmony, and I have conflict and defeat as well. I feel like patience, I feel like that speaks to you being okay with the fact that this isn't going to be fixed overnight, and this isn't going to be fixed with a move, because I think that's going to frustrate you as well. I think when you get there and you feel better, sort of that immediate sort of release of some of those stresses, I think you're going to feel, oh, everything's okay now. But when you find that you're still wrestling with a few of those emotions, I think you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to be like, well, I left that. I was sure that I left that in the past. It takes time to do that, and you need to cut yourself some slack, and you need to be okay with it taking a little bit longer, and make sure that you're making the time to sort through it all so that you can find harmony in your life. And that helps to set a firm foundation too for a solid future, being able to move past that. To me, that's what all of this speaks of. So once you've moved, physically moved and settled in, you will still have the baggage to unpack and deal with. Make sure you just make time for it. You don't get overwhelmed. You don't feel defeated that somehow it's still bogging you down. It takes time, and that's okay. That's completely normal. Give yourself that time. I think you've taken the first most important step in all of this transition. You've decided what you wanted, and you've actioned your plan to get to that in life. Alrighty, guys, I hope that was helpful. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. And if you enjoy the reads, please join the Tarot Harmony family. We would love to have you. Click the subscribe button, and yeah, become part of our little group. Take care, guys.